Hi guys! Welcome back to another video. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about all the things that no one tells you about moving to another country. The purpose of this video is to inform anyone out there that might have dreams or plans of moving to another country, or to just sympathize with everyone that is struggling abroad in an entirely new country. I believe that sometimes, especially on social media, the idea of living in another country or moving to another country is very romanticized, and no one tells you all the things that go behind moving abroad or that happen behind the scenes. Everyone just shares their highlights. In reality, it's really hard, and sometimes you can feel like your struggling experience is just you, that you're doing something wrong or that you made a mistake. But in reality, it's hard for everyone. And I believe that we should talk more openly about the struggles of living in a foreign country. So without anything else left to say, let's begin this video. Number one, you're gonna have to start from scratch. You literally have no idea the amount of things that it takes to put your life together. Especially me as a minor, I never thought of all the things that we take for granted in our daily lives that someone had to do, someone has to pay for. I think especially this is also something that sometimes happens when kids move out of their houses and have their own house. There's so much that you have to do. There is so much adulting involved in things. Maybe this was an eye-opening experience for me because this was the first time that I was adulting. But being an adult is really overrated, and building your life again is very exhausting. You have to come to this new place where you know no one. You're completely new. Maybe sometimes you do not dominate the language. You don't even know the country's laws. That's really important, country's laws. And you have to build your life again. You have to find a house, landlord, money, contracts, setting up the many services that you have to set up, contacting people to set things up in your house, buying furniture, getting a car, getting insurance, paying taxes, and all of this while you're trying to figure out what you just did, like trying to understand yourself, and in a whole new place where you have no one, where you're alone, and most of the time you do not even speak the language. Like, how are you supposed to communicate? It's really hard, really overwhelming sometimes, and no one tells you that. No one tells you the amount of work that you have to put in renting a house. Like, just as simple as renting a house. No services, no furniture, no nothing, just a house. Now add everything else. It's just exhausting, but it's a reality. You have to think about it, especially if you're like going to move alone. It's hard, but do not get discouraged. Number two, it is sometimes really hard to fit in. I do not know if this is a little bit more personal to me, but I do believe that when you come from a different country, it's really hard to like find new people because not everyone wants to be friends with you, and you're also going to have a hard time trying to understand people because we're all different, especially if you're moving to a place where like the culture is completely different from like your home country. It's really hard to understand people because we all view the world in a very different way, which is beautiful. It's really hard to like make that switch and like understand that the way that you have viewed the world your entire life is not the way everyone else does it, and you're like the different one, and it's really hard. Some people are not nice. Some people are not going to approach you and be like, hey, do you want to be friends? Come over to my house. No. Some people are just going to look at you and ignore you. Some people are not even going to look at you. Some people are going to be nice. You know, there is everything in this world. It takes all kinds of people to make this world. And sometimes it's really overwhelming. You just need someone to help you, or maybe listen to you, or maybe just distract you, and you have no one to talk to, no one to be with you. Then it's really overwhelming. And then trying to get out of your comfort zone and be like, okay, I'm new, I have to get out of my comfort zone, talk to people. Sometimes it's hard. For me, I always thought I was a very like friendly person, a very extrovert person, and it has been really hard to make friends. Now, I can't imagine how hard it might be for some introverts or people that do not speak the language. There's so many factors that contribute to you being like successful quicker than other people. Eventually you'll find your way. We all get used to things, but it's sometimes hard, and it's sometimes hard to understand that it's not you're not the problem. It's hard, and you just have to navigate this and like grow and learn. Number 3, you're always going to be different. That is sometimes hard to understand because, at least for me, I was a Mexican girl growing up in Mexico with Mexican friends. Like, you're just normal. And then you come to a new place and you realize, whoa, I am different. I do things that no one else does. I say things that no one else says. I think things that no one else thinks. I'm just different. And it's beautiful to embrace your uniqueness, but sometimes it's shocking, especially when you get treated differently because you're different. This is something personal, again, but especially when you belong to a minority, you are automatically like put into that minority and you're different, so they treat you differently. Some minorities are stigmatized. So since you're different, you're going to be treated differently according to that stigma. So sometimes it's heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking for me. It took me a while to understand, whoa, I'm being treated this way because I am different. But being different is not bad, and I actually should embrace it. And I should embrace all of those differences that make us all unique. In my case, I do things that my German friends don't do. I do things that my Dominican friends don't do, stuff like that. But it's beautiful. You have to embrace it and also understand that sometimes you are going to be treated differently. Not everyone is open-minded. Not everyone is always the nicest, and you're going to also have to deal with that. But embrace your uniqueness. Do not feel bad about it. Number 4, you're gonna miss everything. Maybe you're not gonna miss everything at the same time, but you are going to miss many things. They won't always make you sad. Sometimes you remember things and you're like, oh gosh, I kind of miss good tacos. Oh gosh, I kind of miss salsa, stuff like that. Sometimes you're going to be really sad and you're going to be crying like, oh my God, I miss my family. Oh my God, I miss my friends. Oh my God, I miss my life. But you're always going to miss. And I'm not really sure that it's ever going to go away. A clear example that I have in my life is my dad. He's not from Mexico, he's from Honduras. He moved to Mexico when he was like maybe 20 years old, and he has lived outside of Honduras ever since. And till this day, he still misses things. He still talks to me about his childhood, and sometimes he even confuses countries. Sometimes he's trying to talk about Mexico and he starts talking about Honduras. He has lived more years outside of Honduras than in Honduras, but he's still missing that. And I believe, especially when you grow up in a place, like your wonder years, your childhood was lived in a place, that really shapes you. And you're never going to not be part of that. And you're gonna miss it. And sometimes it's gonna be sad. Sometimes it's just going to be like casual, like I miss tamales or stuff like that. But you're always gonna miss. And you're gonna have to kind of get used to that feeling. And I guess also embrace it. Embrace that you come from a different place, that you have a different past, and that, all of those things have shaped you. And as I said, I'm not sure that will ever really go away, but you'll cope with it and, you'll be fine. And last but not least, you're going to regret it. I don't want to be dramatic. That sounded very dramatic, but it's true. Sometimes you're going to be crying in the floor, wondering, why did I do this? My life was perfect. I had everything. Why did I leave it? You're going to question yourself. Did I make a mistake? Should I have done this? Should I go back? What should I do? And I want you to know that that's normal, that you're not alone. We all feel this way. And I believe as you get older, it's harder to let things go and adapt to new things. I'm saying this like if I was 80 years old. I'm 17. I've moved to the US before, but it has gotten harder with the years. And I have regretted it many times. Many times as I've said, I've regretted, why did I do this? Not only me, my mother has regretted it, my dad has regretted it, my brother, everyone in my family, my friends, we all go through this like mourning period where you're like going through the grief stages, and sometimes you regret it, sometimes you're mad that you did it, sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're in denial. You know, it's like that. That's life. But you have to be resilient. You have to, number one, understand that you took the decision. Some people have it easier than others. In my case, I took this decision because I wanted to. Some people have to take the decision of moving to another country because they have to. But the decision was already made. Things were already done. You have to let it go. You have to be resilient. You have to keep moving forward and understand that what's done, it's done. Period. And eventually the regret will go away. We all get used to things. No matter how hard it gets, we get used to things. And feelings go by. You're going to be happy and sad, and you're gonna question your decisions. That's just how it works. And you have to learn to deal with that. And eventually you'll realize that you are going to be stronger. You're going to be a different person. And moving to a different country really gives you perspective. And you have to embrace how strong you're becoming and all the obstacles that you are overcoming, and be proud of yourself. And if you regret it, it's okay. And that is it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, this video has a purpose of like informing, but also kind of empathizing and talking about my own experience and being transparent. It is not easy. It's sometimes really hard. You regret it many times, but I think I would still take this decision. Like if I went back in time, I think I would still take the decision of moving. It has been really hard, but I think it has also been great. It has taught me so much and made me such a different person. Sometimes immigrating is hard. As I said, some people have the decision of leaving, some people are forced to leave, and it's going to be hard for everyone. But you should take it as a learning experience, as a growing experience, as an adventure, and be happy. And I hope you're proud of yourself, because honestly, I'm proud of myself. And without anything else left to say, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do not forget to follow me on all of my social media. I keep you posted with my adventures over there, so you know, maybe you can check it out. Do not forget to subscribe on the little red button. Comment if you have any comments. And as always, I will see you guys next week. Bye bye. And a whole new tire.